You are probably hearing a lot about MCP, MCP servers, and now even instance level MCP in N8N. Suddenly everyone is talking about it. So today we are going to break it down very simply. What exactly MCP is, why it matters, and now most importantly how you can actually benefit from it in your automations and N8N workflows. By the end of this video, you will know how MCP works, what is it just a buzzword or something that is completely going to change how we build AI systems? Here's the journey we are going on today. We will start by understanding what MCP is, what problem it solves, and why is it very important. Then we'll build together an MCP server without writing a single line of code and use it in our N8N AI agent. We will also see what different kinds of MCP servers are provided by N8N. Alright, let's get rolling. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It is basically a standard way of AI agent to talk to external tools, apps, databases, and services. That might sound a little bit technical, but let's understand what it actually means. Imagine you are building an AI agent. You want it to check your calendars, you want to send emails, query database, fetch weather data, do some real things, not just chat. Okay. So without MCP, you build an AI agent where you manually define and explain what each tool does and when and how to call them. It's like babysitting your agent. It's exhausting, and if you want to use the same tool again and in a different agent, then you have to start over completely. Now with MCP, this is how the same system works. Someone builds this MCP server for Google Calendar. You connect your AI agent with this MCP server and you ask MCP server what exactly you can do. MCP server can tell you, I can create events, update events, maybe send emails, and here are the exact parameters that I need to do each of these tasks. Now this AI agent now automatically understands what tools are available, what they can do, and how to call them without you hard coding anything. It's like a difference between cooking a dish and ordering in a restaurant. Without MCP, you teach your agent how to cook every meal from scratch. With MCP, you are giving your agent a restaurant menu. It knows what's available and how to order. And the best part is every MCP server is reusable. You build it once and then you use it anywhere you like in Claude, ChatGPT, Lovable, Cursor, as well as in your N8N AI agents. This was MCP in a nutshell. Now let's talk about why this is revolutionary and what problems does it solve. The first and most important problem it solves is the integration hell problem. Before MCP, every AI platform had its own way of handling tool integration. Like ChatGPT has function calling, Claude had tool use, and our N8N had tools for AI agents. They all do similar things but in different syntax, different authentication flows, different ways of defining their schemas. So if you build a Google Calendar integration for ChatGPT's function calling, you cannot just plug it into Claude or N8N. You had to rebuild it from scratch. MCP solves this. One MCP server works across all platforms that support MCP. Build once and use anywhere you like. The second most important problem that it solves is the maintainability nightmare problem. APIs changes a lot. Let's say Google updates their calendar API. Slack deprecates their endpoint. Your database schema evolves. Without MCP, you have to update every agent, every workflow, every integration that touches those API. With MCP, the MCP server handles the API changes. Update the server once and every agent using it automatically gets the fix because the interface remains same. Your workflow doesn't break when API evolves. Then we have the discovery problem. This is something subtle but huge. How does an AI agent know what tools are available? Without MCP, you have to tell it in the prompt, like you have access to these functions, get weather, send emails, query database, etc. etc. You're manually mapping what agent can do. But with MCP, the agent knows dynamically what are the available options and how to use them. So agent asks the MCP server, what tools do you have? And the server responds with the complete catalog of name, description, parameters, examples to use. This is how you go from scripted automation to true autonomy. By now you must have understood that MCP is not just a buzzword, but it is the bridge that lets AI do real world tasks safely and predictably. It's a serious development for the future of AI. And now let's talk about something you'll actually use. Let's create our own MCP server and use it in our N8N workflows. This is a simple AI agent that is connected to MCP client tool. And let's try this. Hi, what are the available tools are at your disposal? It is processing, looking into what are the tools it has. Since while connecting the tool, it saved the tool data. Now it is telling us it has a calendar tool that can create an event in the Google Calendar, update an event in the Google Calendar, get many events in Google Calendar, get a single event in a Google Calendar, and delete an event in Google Calendar. Also, it has an email tools that can send email with subject and HTML body to a specific email workflow. Let's try this. Hey, just block my calendar for next 50 minutes and send me the details on this email ID. It is going through the chat model. Now it called the MCP server. It is again calling the MCP server. First call was to block the time, block the event, and then second call was to send the email. It sent this HTML email. And now let's see if we got the calendar blocked and got the email or not. This is our calendar and it blocked exactly 50 minutes. And we got an email saying your calendar has been blocked for the next 50 minutes. And this is the MCP server that we used. If you see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 calendar tools and a custom workflow tool. And let's see how we can build this. To build the MCP server, you just need to go to the node panel, type in MCP and select MCP server trigger. Once open, you can choose the kind of authentication you want. It's by default no authentication, so you can choose up to, let's say you want a bearer auth, then you can set up the credentials from right here and proceed. But let's go with the no auth this time. You can connect the tools that this MCP server can use. Let's say I want our calendar, and here you just select your credentials and see the operation you want. Let's say create, and you just select this button to make sure that model defines it automatically when to use it. My bad, we had to also select the calendar. We'll use this calendar only. That's it. Similarly, you can use a separate tool to get the calendar events and so on. Now let's see how this external workflow you can use. So I have this workflow that can be executed by another workflow, and here it expects the email, subject, and HTML body, these 3 parameters. And if it gets these 3 parameters, it can send the email to this particular email with this subject and this HTML body. So this is a simple workflow that we are going to connect to our MCP server. Just click on the tool plus icon here and call N8N workflow tool. And then here select the workflow you want. We want to do send emails. Then just click on define automatically for all these fields that is needed by this workflow. If the workflow is complex, then you might want to optionally define the description of what this workflow is doing. But this is a simple enough workflow, all determined directly by the parameters and the name. So we are not going to do this. Now to test this, you want to make sure that it is active and saved so that you can use the production URL in your MCP client. But if you are testing and you don't want to go to the production URL and using the test URL, so every time you are trying to test it, you have to click on execute step and only one call can go at a time. So if multiple calls are needed, then you want to make sure that production URL is activated by clicking on this activate button. Coming back to our client, this is the AI agent that we have. And this is the simple prompt we did. You are an AI assistant that can help users with their calendar related tasks, and current date and time is $now. Okay. So this lets the AI know what is the current date and time. Based on it, it can take the decision and determine what time to use. And if you see, we have not even mentioned that we are connecting it to any tools. It can determine it on itself, but it's good to just show them what MCP servers are connected. Now, we need to connect one tool, that is going to be our MCP client tool. And once you connect the MCP client tool, the endpoint that we shown earlier in the MCP server, that same endpoint we need to copy it here, and with the authentication flow if there are any, and then you can select what tools you want to use. If you select all the tools are available, and you can optionally select some of the tools. So we see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 tools available. I just want to use this tool and this tool. Then these are the only one that we are going to use from this client, but we'll be going all in. You can copy this MCP server URL and you can use the same server in any other MCP clients as well. So this was workflow level MCP in N8N. Now we are going to see how you can create instance level MCP in N8N. Just head down to settings and go to MCP access. Make sure you are on version 1.121.0 or higher, because this was introduced after that only. So click on this MCP access. You can make your N8N instance an MCP server just by clicking this toggle. And once you do, this is the endpoint that you can use to access your N8N MCP server. And you can choose what all are the workflows that are available through this MCP server. To do that, you need to go to that workflow. Let's say this is the workflow. You need to make sure that this is active, and you need to go to settings, and you can toggle this on available in MCP and save. Once you save it, this workflow is going to be available through the server. Also, you make sure you add some description. Now this panel will show what all are the available workflows that are exposed through this server. So you see this get emails is exposed with this description. So this was all about MCP and how you can use it. Remember, the power is really in reusability. Build an MCP server once and you can use it in multiple places across different platforms. And if this video helped you understand MCP, then smash that like button. It genuinely helps others to discover this content. And subscribe if you want more N8N tutorials, AI automation breakdowns, and practical AI agent builds. Thanks for watching. See you next time.